Welcome to Burl Sports 1957 Topps football set break. We got a complete registry set here, GPA of just over 6. Some really nice 6s and 7s, as well as a handful of 5s or 5.5s, but nothing lower than that. So we'll get started here with our set break. Thank you for buying in. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to interact with each other in the social stream, just scroll down if you're on my website. As you can see, nobody really ever does that. But if you ever want to, you're more than welcome. All right, so a quick rundown. A couple of new people bought into this break. So here's how we do it. We use random.org. We use their list randomizer. So if you ever want to play around with that, you can go to lists and more list randomizer. Oops, got that. There we go. So we have, for however many spots you bought, your name's in here that many times. If you bought in different orders, they're split up that way. But I'll copy paste this entire list right here into the list randomizer. 155 cards in the break, 154 plus the checklist. And so we will randomize those here. It'll be the third randomization that we take, just to make sure they're nice and shuffled up. Then we'll copy and paste that next to our checklist. So since every spot in this break is graded, I do have the grades here if you're curious. I'll also, when I email out results, I will make sure that that these grades are posted on the site, as well as a link to the registry. If you're curious anything else about the registry, you can check that out. But we'll paste the shuffled results right here next to our checklist. So the first name that comes out of the randomizer will get number 1, Eddie LeBaron in a PSA 7. Number 2 will get Pete Retzloff, and so on. So we won't read through all 155 cards, but we will look at, I've picked out 25 cards or so for us to look at. So without any further ado, let's get started. So we will copy paste this. And Nate Baustad was the winner of our free spot. So we'll copy those. We'll paste them right here, and again, we'll randomize 3 times. So here's our first randomization. 1, 2, and the third one's the one that'll take. So we will copy and paste that right next to our checklist. Delete those extra cells to make sure they're lined up. So, and again, we won't read through everyone, but we will read the hits, and I'll email out the full results. So we will look at the first card in the break, Eddie LeBaron. Card number 1 is always a little condition sensitive, so PSA 7 is really nice here. This goes to Pat Gillespie. Almost this entire set was from an original collection. There were about a dozen cards that graded low for some minor flaw, and those were upgraded to make the set more consistent. But other than that, most of these, maybe a handful more that were adjusted. But overall, the majority of these cards came from one collection. It's pretty cool. So next up, we will look at card number 15. Jack Butler goes to Bill Floyd. And there are, 31 Hall of Famers or so in this set, so plenty of hits to go around that we aren't looking at, as well as some tough high numbers. I've taken a good mix of those for the ones we're looking at here. Next hit we'll look at is card number 24. Not a normal hit, but this one is a PSA 8, Al Darrow. That goes to Brad Smith. Next up, we have card number 27. Fran Rogel goes to Nate Baustad. So again, not a normal hit, but again, a PSA 8. examples. So, a couple of cool high-grade cards there. Nice free spot to hit there, Nate. Next up, we will look at Lou Groza, who's card number 28, and that goes to Nathan Lindgren. PSA 6 example. Next up, we'll look at card number 30. That's Y.A. Tittle. That goes to Jeffrey Gahn. PSA 6 example there. Next up, card number 31, George Blanda, goes to Nathan Lindgren. PSA 6 example on the Blanda. Next up is card 32, Bobby Lane. That goes to Michael Pierce. It's a PSA 6. Tough card in the set. Next up, we'll look at card number 49. Which is Chuck Bednarik. PSA 6 example goes to Steve Valinsky. Next up, card 52, Kenny Kontz. PSA 8 example on this one goes to Tony Cipriano. Then we have card number 65, Art Donovan. PSA 6 example goes to Nathan Lindgren. Then we've got Dick Lane, number 85. PSA 6 goes to Mike Yelfman. Next up is our Raymond Berry, card number 94. PSA 6 example again. That goes to Nathan Lindgren. There you go, Nathan. PSA 6 on your Berry. Next up, we have card number 95, Hugh McElhenney. That goes to Jeffrey Gahn as a PSA 7 example. Then we have card number 96, Stan Jones. Fairly tough card. PSA 6 goes to Brad Smith. And we've got card 104, Earl Morrall. PSA 6 goes to Taylor Napier. Next up is our Bart Starr card. So the Star is card 119. It's a PSA 5. Really nice 5 in my opinion. But card 119, Bart Starr, goes to Jeffrey Gahn. Nice card there, Jeffrey. Then we've got card 124, Tommy McDonald, also goes to Jeffrey Gahn. PSA 7 example on the McDonald. Then card 128, Lenny Moore. PSA 6 goes to Frederick Mistretta. A lot of these cards, they were graded raw almost, in one massive submission. And some of these I feel like just got really poor grades. For this one, for example, felt like it was at least a 7, but that's why we get third-party graders, right? Next up, we've got 129, Joe Perry. PSA 6 goes to Jeffrey Gahn. Then we have our next big hit, Johnny Unitas, card 138. PSA 5.5. So, Johnny U goes to Jeffrey Gahn. Next up, we have card 145. Sid Youngelman goes to Chris Felderman. PSA 7 example. Again, really sharp card. Tough high number. Then we've got card 147. Lynn Ford goes to Jeffrey Gahn. PSA 6 example, another tough high number. To the handful of you who've joined in the last several minutes, the recording will be available as soon as we're done here, and I'll email out full results. All right, card 151, Paul Hornig, goes to Jeffrey Gahn. PSA 6 example. Got a handful more hits to look at here. Card 153, Bill Svoboda. I never can say his name. Anyways, goes to Chris Felderman. PSA 7 example. Really tough high number. Really sharp card. Then we've got 154, Fred Morrison. Goes to Nathan Lindgren. PSA 6 on that last card in the regular set. And last but certainly not least, the Topps checklist. This one's a bazooka. You want to talk about a tough checklist to find unmarked, that'd be this one. So this one's a PSA 2 with marks. But still a tough card in any condition. So that'll wrap us up for the break. I'll post the results here and email out a link here in just a few minutes. Thanks again. Cards should ship out likely by Saturday. So thanks again for joining us. Thanks for buying in. And this is Burl from Burl Sports signing off. Should be next week before we get our next set break up. Haven't decided which one. I've picked up several here lately. So I'll let you know in the next day or two. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for buying in. Have a great rest.